Bye.
Yes, but
زونه درونزه.
Down the street, Mary's sister is coming with her family. She has no time to react before the car runs up on the sidewalk. At the same time,
We are going to ensure that no more children in Northern Ireland are going to die. And it doesn't matter if they're going into Roseland, the Protestant, or Loudtown, the Catholic. We've had enough. There's going to be no more deaths in Northern Ireland.
at the same time, Betty Williams begins her own work.
Betty went collecting signatures to call for a rally from somewhere I don't even know where because I didn't know Betty, but I got her number and I phoned her up.
In just days, Betty and May Reid successfully gathered thousands of Belfast residents, both Protestants and Catholics, in a march for peace. Encouraged by their success, Betty and May Reid organized new peace demonstrations.
Every Saturday we had a rally and go across divides and go into communities that they'd never gone into before.
In just about 6 months, the violence in Northern Ireland decreases by 70%. And later that year, Betty Williams and May Reid Corrigan are awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their efforts. Although the conflict continues for many years to come, it never again reaches the same levels as the summer of 1976.
It took us back from the brink of civil war and it was people done it. It was ordinary people. The civil community was the bridge to a peace process.
At the end of the 1800s, Swanton is living in a world which is undergoing many major changes. Advancements in technology and scientific discoveries are plenty. Train and the telegraph are now in use. Making it faster than ever for both people is now providing new opportunities, which lead such things as that everything around us, computers, people, and even air, is made up of atoms. There are over 100 different types of atoms, such as carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. They are called elements. They can be combined in many different ways to become new substances. To understand this, he lists to help
She, at only 17 years old, received the Nobel Peace Prize along with Indian activist Kailash Satyarthi.
This award to children for education. It is time to take action. So it becomes the last time that we see a child deprived of education.
And Malala's message seems to have had a strong impression on the students following in her footsteps at Kushal Public School, the one her father once founded.
I go to school to get education because education makes difference. Malala is our national heroine and she is pride of Pakistan.
American chemist Willard Libby has been working with the U.S. military in nuclear research for several years. Now, finally, he is free to work on his own project. But he must do this with great secrecy. If anyone found out what he was working on, they would think he was crazy. Libby's idea is to date all of human history. Libby knows that radiocarbon is created far out in the atmosphere. It then spreads through the air via carbon dioxide and is absorbed by all plants as they breathe. Because animals and people eat plants, radiocarbon ends up in all living things, including humans. And this is what Libby now hopes to utilize. Because carbon-14 is no ordinary carbon atom. It is radioactive. It has a pair of extra neutrons in its nucleus, making it an isotope. This makes it unstable, causing it to decay at a certain speed over time. If Libby can determine this speed and then measure how much radiocarbon remains in a skull, for example, he can then instantly know exactly how old the skull is, just like a clock going back in time. But first, Libby must find out exactly how fast radiocarbon breaks down, its so-called half-life. Half-lives of different substances range from a few thousandths of a second to billions of years. Libby has a stroke of luck. He discovers that radiocarbon's half-life is about 5,700 years, which is ideal for measuring human history. The next step is to find out if radiocarbon is evenly distributed across the Earth, that all plants absorb equal quantities of the substance. This is crucial. Libby gathers wood samples from around the world. In order to better measure the radiocarbon content in the samples, he develops a new, more sensitive instrument, an improvement upon an instrument called a Geiger-Miller tube. The tree samples need to be processed so that only carbon remains. First, the wood pieces are burned before being purified by chemicals over several steps. The remaining carbon powder is then inserted into the Geiger-Miller tube and is trapped behind radiation-proof lead walls.